Yeah, everyone's pretty excited. We try to keep the same routines as much as possible. Try not to change much. We know it's a final. We know there's going to be extra emotion, but we have to continue doing what got us here. So that's the plan.
What are you anticipating from the opponent, Charleston?
They're a good team. They wouldn't be in the position they are if they weren't. They've had a solid season. We know what they're trying to do. They're a hard-working team. We know their strengths. Like I'm sure they know ours and our weaknesses, and it's going to come down to whoever can exploit it better.
I saw after Danny's goal against OC, sort of did this to the fans a bit. Would you say it's a bit of an us versus them mentality, especially when you play all your games away on the road?
I think it has to be. I think we have to create that atmosphere ourselves. I think being away from home, it's not easy. We've had great support, but regardless, we don't have our home fans with us, and they've always kind of outnumbered us, so it's kind of us versus them. And I think personally I've tried to embrace that, and I think the team has embraced that, and I think the pressure games this season we've performed at our best. I think our performances that haven't been at the highest level maybe haven't been when the pressure's been on, and I think the boys and the team and everyone rises to the occasion. So like I said, it started from San Diego that everyone was kind of, fans against me and the team. But to be honest, personally, I enjoy that. So it's going to be the same again this weekend.
When you win 3 games in kind of the way that you have, late winners, always pretty emotional games in that sense. How do you guys kind of keep a lid on the emotions to make sure that you're still ready to go the next week?
The staff have been pretty good about what we need to do, but we have leaders in the team, and everyone knows that, winning the conference final or winning the first round of playoffs wasn't the ambition. So knowing that it's another do or die situation in 5 days when we've had less rest after the San Diego game, or coming up this week when you have a day more, everyone's kind of focused. No one wants to just win a playoff game. I mean, if you're at Phoenix, you want to win the whole thing, and I think that's what everyone's here to do.
They treat playing for a championship. Do you try to treat it like any other game, or do you embrace what's on the line?
I think you have to do both. Like I said earlier, the routine and stuff you try and keep the same and what's working, but you'd be naive to not treat it as a championship game and a do or die. And again, it's not getting knocked out now, it's lifting that trophy, and who wants it more and who wants that feeling. And again, we're away from home, and I think our victories on the road have been pretty sweet, and we know what that Western Conference title felt like and how he felt after that game. And being on top of the West is one thing, but being champions of the USL is a completely different thing.
Looking at your career personally, obviously you've had a lot of setbacks going from club to club and not really necessarily settling in and having that run in the first team. What does it mean to you personally now to be one of the first names on the team sheet and battling for a league title?
Yeah, I mean, when I first came to the US, I didn't know what to expect, and I started with a different team, and had a bit of success individually, but the team wasn't doing too well. And now coming here, from the first moment I stepped off the plane in June, I knew what it kind of meant and what was expected of the club itself. Individually, I didn't know what was expected of me. I didn't know if I was coming here to be a rotation piece, or I was going to be coming off the bench and trying to help the team. But I have to thank the staff and Juan especially, that's given me the opportunity to help the team to get where we are right now. And yeah, it's amazing, to fight for. It'll be my first professional trophy, and I know Phoenix is still waiting to win the USL Championship, so hopefully can combine both on Sunday.
In this win streak and going to the championship, what are some differences you've noticed in the locker room?
I felt like we've always had a strong group, but I feel like when times have gotten tough and there's been difficult moments this season, we've always stayed together. And I think, as Owen said earlier, the victories in the last minute, to be honest, maybe we would have preferred to win 3-0 or have an easier game in one of the playoff games, but I think the emotion has actually brought us closer as a team. And I think we're riding with that right now. I think everyone's shown to be important, with the guys coming off the bench, the guys starting doing a certain job, and the guys, certain players that are starting that are scoring and assisting or blocking or whatever, and the guys coming in also feeling important. And it's a big family, and I think that word's been used quite a lot, and we say it quite often, but it could be cliche, but I really feel that way.
You guys turned your season around in the second half, then you win 3 playoff games in a row. What is the mentality or the spirit or that drove you guys to be able to turn that around?
I think a part of it's just like the process. Like, I don't think much has really changed. I mean, I wasn't here at the beginning. I arrived in the middle of the season. So for me personally, what I can speak of is nothing's really changed. It's just like sometimes it's a bit of luck, sometimes it's consistency, sometimes it's, you know, we have so many new players and a new coaching staff that are trying to build something, and we have pieces that have been integrated in the middle of the season, like myself and Darius and John as well. And when you get those pieces and they can help the team, and it's just time as well. Things take time, and I think no one kind of expected us to be here, but I can tell you the belief in the locker room is that from the beginning that this is where we belong. So,
one just used the word family to describe you guys. How do you think that came about? How did you guys become a family, I guess?
I think it starts from the leaders we have in the team. I think our captain is amazing in doing that. I think Daniel has on and off the field been so good with that stuff. But I mean, it's just, you know, that stuff also takes time. You don't just build relationships in the first couple of weeks, first couple of months. So I think that's been the progressiveness of this team, that, you know, new players coming in, new people speaking different languages and stuff, and me personally having to adapt to a new culture, a new country, just like some of the other boys. It takes time, and I think, yeah, it's starting to come at the right moment.
Throughout these playoffs, you've been keen on sending balls into the box. What is sort of your mentality heading into these games?
We have a certain style of play, and I think we try to stick to that as much as possible. But at the end of the day, we have to play what the game gives us, and if certain teams are going to take certain things away, we have to find other ways to hurt them, and I think we've been good at that. I think, to be honest, in all three games, we've been in the game. And to be honest, in all three, I felt like we've been the better team at most parts of the game. You have to suffer at some points, but I think we're a good team and we can hurt you different ways. So we can hurt you through possession, we can hurt you over the top, we can hurt you counter-attacking. Defensively, we're a strong group, so we've got many ways to hurt the opposition.
Charleston, of course, a pretty organised, disciplined team. Do you think you may have to look for some of those opportunities you've had in recent games where people play balls through to Danny and look to use pace?
Have to play what the game gives us, I guess. If we've shown that we're capable of doing that, and not just with Danny, with others that can get in behind or whatever, and it's all about movement and seeing what they do. There's no kind of secrets between the two teams. You know what they do, they kind of know what we do, so we have to expect that they're going to try and adapt to us. So we have to counter that as well, but at the same time, our vision doesn't change. The way we want to play doesn't change. We want the ball, and that's our philosophy, and we're going to try and dominate possession, and they're going to try and hurt us in different ways, and we think we have a game plan to win, just like I'm sure they do.
The journey's not over. You still have the U.S. final to play, but these past three games have been very exciting. So how would you describe the journey up to this point so far in these playoffs with all these late winners in these games?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows the mentality of the group and the fight that never stops. We're a team that, you know, doesn't give up, and we've shown that when we score early, we can hurt you and we can win 4-5-0, and we show that when we go down, we're not going to go away. So again, it's just a mentality thing, and yeah, we have quality all over the field in every position, guys that play, guys that aren't playing, so raises the level for everyone, and everyone knows what's at stake right now. It's not like another regular season game. If we can play beautiful football on the weekend and win, that's great. If not, at the end of the day, we need to do whatever it takes to lift that trophy at the end.
Seeing sort of the amount of supporters who plan on taking this trip to Charleston, describe sort of what that means to your group in general.
No, it means a lot. I think we saw that in San Diego as well. I know a lot of fans traveled out, especially Orange County. Yeah, it means a lot. We know we have, you know, some of the best fans in the league, and they make the effort a lot to travel. And I think the players and the team and the club have built a really good connection with them. And hopefully they enjoy the weekend. And whether they're watching at home or whether they're traveling, they can cheer us on.